Hi everyone, I am Pavitra from Crossing Hurdles. At Crossing Hurdles, we work closely with professionals across different industries, and one thing we always try to maintain throughout the hiring journey is transparency. From the application stage to onboarding and project completion, we believe it's important for candidates to clearly understand what the process looks like. So, in today's episode of our Journey to Hire series, we are going to cover Saurabh's journey. So, first of all, thank you for joining us today, Saurabh. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and share your experience. So you completed a contract through the support of Crossing Hurdles, where you worked in an AI role, right? And we are glad to have you here to talk with us about that journey. To begin with, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us a bit about how you came across these opportunities of Crossing Hurdles?
Hi everyone, I'm Saurabh Tewari. I did my engineering in computer science, but I was fascinated. I had propensity for physics, and so I've been teaching physics for last 25 years, maybe more. Since I did computer science engineering, I also was enchanted for computers all this duration, and I kept on doing my bit in computer science, like getting well versed with whatever latest is happening in technology and computers. And AI, of course, I mean, no one needs to get an introduction of that. AI is no more the futuristic concept of tomorrow. And it's not just putting a foot in, it's smashing all the doors, right? So that is why I also thought of doing something, contributing my bit towards AI. And that is why I started searching about things I could do with AI. And I came across Crossing Hurdles. And I mean, the rest is all known to everyone. I applied through Crossing Hurdles, and thankfully, I got placed through them in Micro One, and I've been doing my work there now.
Thanks for sharing that. So, from your perspective, how was the hiring process overall, starting from when you first applied to when you were finally selected for the role?
I wouldn't say the journey was very smooth. Actually, I mean, the transition phase was a bit tricky because once you apply through Crossing Hurdles, I mean, Crossing Hurdles takes control of everything, and you just have to do your assessments, and they would apply on your part to different companies. And I mean, I understand that Crossing Hurdles is not involved in that, but the wait time is crucial. And sometimes it really feels, I definitely want to give the message to everyone. It sometimes feels a bit heavy and actually killing that nothing is happening on that front. But I just want to clarify, it's not on the part of Crossing Hurdles, it's on the part of the client, the company, where Crossing Hurdles is applying for you. So that company might take some time, more time, a lot of time. It depends on the companies and it depends on the roles actually. And this is what I have also learned, that it can take some time. For me, it was around a month or so. And I kept wondering as to what was happening or if actually something was happening or not.
That's really helpful, especially for people who might be curious, like about how the process looks like. But just to clarify, Crossing Hurdles connect the candidates with different global AI platforms where they apply, and the platforms have different timelines for their projects. Sometimes they reply in like 1 day or 2 days, and sometimes it takes a couple of weeks. So we are continuously sharing the feedback to the clients so that they can improve on that part. So once you were onboarded on the project, what did your day-to-day work look like? What kind of tasks or responsibilities were typically handling during the week?
Okay, I started with the work of annotation, and some projects involve direct annotation, some are for RLHF, that is reinforced learning from human feedback, and like physics projects have COT roles where you actually have to identify the chain of thought. I mean, AI is doing everything, it's processing all the information, it's solving questions for you. You just have to check if the steps are correct or not, or if the chain of thought is proper or not. So it's very interesting, very intriguing. I'm enthralled with whatever I'm doing because this definitely is something very different from what I've been doing. But definitely, those inputs, those experiences are valuable in this project also because, like now, I'm doing the role of a reviewer where I don't have to annotate, I have to check the annotations of other people. And doing that, you have to understand what actually the person might have thought while annotating because sometimes the data says something different, whereas the intention is totally different. So you have to keep all that in mind. And there, my experience is paying a lot.
Interesting. That gives a really good idea of what the role involves around. So another thing people often ask is how smooth is the overall process, like the communication, timelines, payments. So how was your experience working through the project?
Well, on that part, I would say crossing hurdles gets full marks because at the very outset when I applied, I was absolutely informed very clearly and thoroughly that, as you said, crossing hurdles is applying on my part to different companies. And I forgot, but you mentioned the word global, which is very important here. I mean, sitting in my city, I've been able to get in touch with companies at global level. I've been working with Micro One, which is based in America. So people definitely get in contact with them through crossing hurdles. I probably wouldn't have been able to understand how to directly apply to the companies, and companies also probably wouldn't have been interested, frankly speaking, if I'd applied directly. So the transition is smooth because at crossing hurdles, everything is taken care of. They manage everything beautifully. And like as I said, once the assessments are done, then the next process is to apply to the companies. And then whatever the waiting time is, it's on the part of companies. And as you said, they can, on the basis of the role required, they can decide in a day or two or a fortnight or a month. And actually, I read about some persons waiting for a few months or more, maybe. And the maximum I heard was around 8 months a person waited before he was hired. So it actually varies from role to role and from company to company. But on the part of crossing hurdles, as I said, full marks to them.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And again, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk with us today. And we really appreciate you sharing all that. I'm sure it will help many professionals who are exploring opportunities through crossing hurdles. And we wish you all the very best for your upcoming projects and opportunities. So thanks, Saurabh. Thanks for taking the time today. It was great talking to you. Have a good day.